Or we do it again tomorrow night. Okay.
Okay, it's recording. It didn't say anything.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it
Yeah.
did.
I heard it.
Okay, good.
All right. What I have here and what some of you have probably got is I use markers to color my leaves. You can also use paint. And I posted that on the group and said it would be faster for you if you pre-color your leaves, but it's not a big deal. If you didn't, you can still do it while we're sitting here. So I used 3 colors on my leaves. You'll see my leaves can you tell that they're kind of splotchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used 3 colors and I used a blender because I like them splotchy because I think leaves are not all one color, but you can make them
Right.
all solid color also.
And did you do it on both sides, Barbara? Yeah.
Sides,
Okay.
yes. Although there is kind of a right side and a wrong side to this, but it doesn't matter too much. For this purposes of this plant, it won't matter. You're going to need a stylus. I forgot to list that. So you're going to need a stylus. I have 3 here. I'm not going to use this tiny one. If you don't own a stylus, is there anybody here who does not have a stylus, a ball stylus?
Nope.
Okay, won't give you alternatives. So I'm going to probably use this medium-ish one that I have. It has a kind of a, can you see the size? I don't know if you can see the size of it, but
It looks huge.
it's not that big actually. It's sort of, this is the huge one.
Yeah, it is.
And this
Well,
one,
we can't see it because it's wiggling, but
well, excuse me, but I'm holding them up closer to the screen. There's 2 of them. So
oh yeah, okay.
I'm using this smaller, this smaller one. It's reversed on my screen. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, for this plant. You also have your pot. And did everybody's pot get to them in one piece other than Cheryl?
Mine got, yeah.
I didn't open mine, so I'm saying yes.
Oh gosh. Well, if it didn't open, okay, let me know. I'll send you another pot. Or you might have one in your stash. I know I've got a billion, so. And you'll need probably a little pair of scissors. And at some point, you're going to need something to cut the wires with. I didn't get those down. I have these particular heavy duty scissors that I cut flower wires with that I really like. I got them from Deb Lau at, what's her business? Forgot her business.
Dragonfly.
Yeah,
And I use tweezers. You'll need tweezers and glue. It can be tacky glue, it can be turbo tacky, it can be Elmer's, except it's a little harder to get things to stick with Elmer's. Any white glue, right? And I also am going to use a brown one because when I fill my pot, I'm going to use air dry clay, and then I color the top of it brown. Then I put some, when it's dry, I put some glue on it and put the dirt on top before I put my flowers in. So we will start first. You're also going to need a piece of foam or a piece of, where's my phone? Missing my phone. Here it is. Here's some. I have, I like the quarter scale. It's almost a quarter scale foam, but you can use smaller, thinner foam. And this is fun foam. It's a lot sturdier. Or you can use a mouse pad. Those are make really good ones to curl your leaves. And you're going to need that. You can also, if you don't have any foam or that, you can use several layers of Kleenex or paper towels to make a cushion. You'll want a cushion because we're going to curl our leaves a little. And so you can remove these leaves. Does anybody have questions so far?
Nope.
Okay. You can remove these leaves by, at the bottom of the stem, you can press your stylus down so it pulls out, and then you have a leaf. Let me put it up closer. With a stem. And if you don't have a stem, it is no big serious thing if some of the stems fall off. You can do it that way, or you can take your little scissors and you can cut along the bottom of those stems. You know, I just sometimes just do this and then they all fall off, you know, they all come off the sheet. And I don't have to do them one at a time. So you're going to want your leaves off of the paper. So I hope you have a little container to hold your leaves, because if you sneeze or laugh or blow your nose or even talk or breathe, your leaves could go anywhere. Had that happen more than once. So I just sort of cut them all off. You have some smaller leaves at the top of this paper. And there's like one row, I think, of medium-ish leaves. And the rest are all big leaves. Yeah, that is true. So I'm going to take some small ones. You can sort them if you want. I just sort of, as I go, try to find what size I'm doing, but it's easier if I suppose if you put them all together. Be careful when you do this, because I'm having leaves go on the floor here, unfortunately. I'm in a corner of I have a corner desk, so you can see right in here.
Yeah.
Hole where everything can go.
Barb, when you painted them with the alcohol markers, do you start with the darkest and then add touches of the lighter, or the reverse?
Better, because then what I do is I use the blender pen, or if you don't have a blender pen, you can use a little alcohol on a brush and I blend them. So that makes them even more mottled and stuff. And I like the effect of it on leaves.
But it doesn't matter if you go darkest to lightest or lightest to darkest?
Not really.
Okay.
If it's too dark for you, you can always use the alcohol. You can use, preferably, alcohol ink pens use 90% alcohol content, but you even over the counter, you know, and you can buy it not the grocery store, the drugstore, maybe a grocery store, the 90%, or I think it's 91% or something that it says on the bottle. And or you can get the regular 70 whatever percent it is that we use medicinally in our houses for things. So now, once you
Did
get
you paint your houses first or no?
No, I did my leaves. I'm doing leaves first. You can, if you're going to paint your houses first, if you want to. I would do what Carolyn said. That's what I did. I spray painted my original houses, but you can use white paint. You just paint them all white, both sides. And then I actually used inks to color them because they have a finer point. But if you're a good paintbrush painter, it would be good to paint them with that too. Yeah. So I have not done anything to these right now. Mine are still in this kit. I've done another kit, which I don't know where I put it, so I can't show you this finished one. But I painted the houses all white out on the edges. I took them out and I painted them all white on the edges, on the back, on the front, and got sure I had white inside the windows. And then I colored them with, and I suggest you, when you're ready to color over the white, that you put them on a piece of tape so they'll hold still. And then I would color them with a fine point, very fine point brush or a marker with a very fine point. And you can paint them any colors you want. They don't have to be the colors that are in the picture. Wait, where am I? Oh, there. See, those are the colors. Now, in this front page picture, she only shows 3 houses, Bev. But if you look inside your drawing, in in here at the bottom of the page on your instructions. That's not real clear, is it? I'm trying to get it so you can see it. If you look at the bottom of the pot, she glued one of her houses on the bottom. You see it on the front of,
Yeah. On the front
Oh,
of the,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or you can just put, I actually put all 4 of mine into the plant because I thought it looked like more blossoms. But you have to decide what colors you're gonna want. And I think Marcia made one and she made a bunch of, were they cardboard or they're cardstock houses?
Cardstock, yeah.
And you
made a
can tell-
whole bouquet.
why don't you tell everybody your technique that you used, Marcia, because she couldn't see very well to do this. Tell
Yeah,
them what-
what I did, I scanned the little tiny house. And then I blew that up on I've got a print artist program. And blew that up and made like 3 or 4 copies and printed it and painted those. I could see them, I could get the lines, everything. Then I scanned those and put them back on my print program and then reduced them down to size in different shapes.
And you don't need a program to do that with. You can do it just on your printer by making it bigger, when you
Yeah.
print them you can put these little houses into your printer and just print
Yeah.
them, and then color them and then reduce them back.
They
I
were
would-
very easy to paint.
And use some
Yeah, when they're,
lightweight cardstock, I think she used, and then she glued 2 together to make it a little thicker.
Yeah, I flipped them one so that there was one and the other one back, so I could paste them back to back.
Because on the front of these little houses, there's some detail where it shows, oh, I can't get it that close. It shows little lines for the window frames and door frames and things. And on the back, it's just very plain. So you want to, on the back, what Susan did on hers is she just colored them a solid color on the back and then
Yeah.
colored around the frame so that some of the white showed. And then Shirley Foisey is she here? Shirley,
No,
hers, she painted her houses and then she took a toothpick a toothpick with white paint and just kind of ran it around the inside of the windows. And she said it oozed out enough to make a little frame. I can see me oozing it way too far, but she's very good at that. Okay, so that's what we did for painting houses, and we can come back to that later if you want.
Can I ask a question? When
Of
you
course.
printed printed the houses and then shrunk them down, what do you do about the windows? Did you just leave them all white?
yeah,
Okay. All right, thank you.
So if you're having trouble seeing them and haven't got a real steady hand, that is another way to go about it. We have alternatives for everything, almost. So I'm going back to the leaves because this is actually building a plant, and I'm going to leave painting the houses more till tomorrow night, I think. Well, we'll get to it eventually tonight too, but but it takes time to dry and things like that. So once you get some leaves on your little foam pad, then you take your ball stylus, not the teeniest one, but a medium-ish one, and you press down and you make little circles. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just making little circles, and it starts to curl up a bit. This plant does not curl a lot, so you don't have to curl it much. It's just, so I'll show you up closer if I can. Oh, wait. Can you see how that's
Yeah.
cupped?
yeah,
And when you put this on your plant, it's going to cup up, not down. Some plants you want it upside down and some you want it up. So this is going to be like a cup that you could fill, but not a deep cup, just a little cup. So you have to do that to all of your leaves. I'm gonna do a couple. We're gonna work on this. I'm going fast because I'm doing the recording. But when we get, after we finish, when I get far enough that I showed you all the techniques, I think, and we get questions, then we can finish the plant together online, but we don't have to record it all. You know what I mean? I was, well, I've been, you know, assisting with a lot of recordings. And I don't know if any of you have gone back and looked at the recordings of how to do things, but sometimes so much downtime while people are catching up and doing stuff that it's so boring to sit through. So I thought I'd kind of do this sort of fast, and then we'll go back and do a slower part so people can, who work faster when they go to look at the video, and check out
Yeah,
what,
but then you have to keep stopping it and catching up with it.
well, you do anyway. I mean, well, I do. I just don't want to sit through everybody working and talking
Yeah.
and all the chit chat, you know, it's when I'm watching the video, and I do stop it and. you
How
know.
much, I mean, I hate to open a whole package of the air dry clay for one little pot, but I
Well,
guess
you
I will.
Also, okay, you can also fill your pot with foam, styrofoam. You know, the kind, the soft kind that you use for dry flowers arrangements,
Oh, yeah.
that very fine styrofoam that we use for not the real coarse kind that you get in packages or anything like that. It's just a very fine styrofoam, and it comes, you can get it at the blocks at your hobby store. And you can just stuff some of that in there too. And you can glue, you know, put some glue in your pot, and then stuff some of that in. And that makes a nice thing. Just need something to stick your
Your stems in, yeah.
and to make your arrangement. And you're going to put glue on the bottom of your stem anyway. And then the top is all that really matters, because you're going to paint it brown no matter whether you use styrofoam or whatever. And then put some glue on and sprinkle the dirt that's in your package on top of that. Because that dirt is not enough to fill a whole pot, and you don't want to fill your whole pot with that anyway. It's better to fill it with something that's, you can stick your stems into. That would be, you can use mud if you want, but you know, I don't recommend real dirt because you might get bugs. So does everybody know how to curl your leaves?
Yep.
We have questions.
Husband does.
Yeah,
You curl the little ones too?
all of them. Yeah,
All of them.
not too tight, but you know, and after it's in your pot, you can adjust them with tweezers too. You know, you can make less or more or straighter or whatever. All right. So now I use that cap. I just got out a new cap. Well, I don't, oh, here it is. Bottle cap for glue. Some people use other things, but I like bottle caps. And I just squeeze glue into it. Oops, not too awfully much. That was more than I usually do because it dries so fast in the warm weather. But for stems, or if you want, you can paint your stems or change the color of them. I'm going to use it like it is. And by the way, if you're going to do much with flowers, making a stem holder is a really good idea. You can get those little
Oh, that's a good idea.
glue them on a board, and it makes, and then I actually stuck some of that green styrofoam in there too. So it holds them. And then when you put your leaves on there, and you can stick them in there to
Let them
dry.
dry. Yeah.
So that's a good thing to do.
That's a good hint.
I happen to belong to a club that we started in the 90s when I lived in another area, and then we moved it up here when I moved up here. And we call ourselves the Petal Pushers. And
Mhm.
all we do is plants and flowers and
Oh,
gardening things. Sometimes we do gardening, other projects, but or do planters or make a patio or something. But mostly we just do plants and flowers. And so I have a lot of little things like that that I've learned over the years. Okay, so I like to bend this back a little bit, the stem, push it to the back. And then I dip that stem into the glue and stick it. Oh, wait, I want a little one. Start with a small one. Sorry.
and Barb, can you put it over the white when you're putting it together because we can't see against the black?
I'm dipping it into the glue, and then I'm sticking it on top, at the top of my stem. This is a trick part. Sometimes what I learned when I first was doing flowers is to dip it in white glue and then just a tiny bit of crazy glue so it will have a fast stick, but I'm just trying it with white glue right now.
And you're just putting it kind of in the middle of the stem?
Right at the top, the little one at the top. Okay. Can you see that?
Mhm.
Oh, at the end, okay.
Yeah, at the very end of your thing. Actually, I think I will put some crazy glue out here. My preference is Zap-A-Gap, but you can use any Loctite. You can use crazy glue. You can use anything. Again, a little harder to find. Not every place has it, but they do have Loctite and crazy glues. Super
Barbara, are
glue.
you mixing the glues or just doing it separate?
I keep them in separate containers. No, you definitely keep them in
Don't
separate.
move 'em, yeah.
But I will show you what I recommend you do. So that first one, then if you can find a medium leaf, which I can't hardly tell which are medium, which are big here. So this looks a little medium. Okay, I dip the stem. Oop, you got to bend it to the back a little to get it in there. I dip the stem into the white glue. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And then I'll just touch it into the crazy glue. There. Then where did I put my stem?
I don't know. It's probably down on that black paper. On the black.
Well, the stem was in your hand, wasn't it?
No, yeah, I put it down. And a little, about maybe a 1/16 of an inch below or 1/8 of an inch below even of your first one, you stick that stem on here. Now, if this is too hard, because this is a tiny piece here, which I find it a little hard, it's sometimes better, easier to cut that stem off and put your glue right into the center of your plant. Ah, shoot. I forgot, you don't want to use crazy glue when you're using inks. I
Oh.
did. So it works great with paint, but not with ink, because it will change the ink color. There. And I pinch it on. Oh, come on, stick. Yeah, we're gonna have to just stick with white glue. This is hard to do. I'm particularly having trouble today. I don't know why. Sometimes I just goes fine and other days I'm all thumbs. Anybody else ever have that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's because you're showing us.
I know it is, and I am shaking.
I've lost my picture for some reason. I've lost my directions. Which way are are you having them pointing downward,
Nope, they go
down,
They-
up? I guess figure
they up,
out one.
up this way
Okay,
But
and
are you
up a little. And you
Are
can
all
you know
facing
what?
upward?
Get them stuck. Once they're dry, you can point them up a little more, but you want them, the cup part to be like, if it rained, they'd fill with water. You know, honestly, this is a house plant, you guys. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to glue a house plant. You can put it whichever way you want, because really, if you look in the horticulture books, I don't think you're gonna find a house plant like this.
Well, no, how did you get your stems off of the motherboard? Your leaves?
Oh, you weren't watching when I cut them off? Okay, hold on, I'm putting another leaf down a little, that. And they just rotate around the stem as you put them
But we're
on.
only, I'm sorry, Barbara, we're only putting one little leaf and all the rest are going to be big ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you can tell which are your medium ones, I didn't sort them out when I cut them, so
Oh, yeah.
medium. Oh, I didn't even cut the medium ones off of here. Okay, I'm gonna put this here to dry. I'm going to show you again what I did, Bev. I said, you can either take them off your paper by putting your stylus on the bottom of the stem and then just kind of pressing down and it will tear it off. Or what I do is I take my scissors and I cut right along the bottom of the stems and they just fall off.
Oh, okay, I gotta go get a smaller pair of scissors here.
Okay.
Now I'm cutting my medium. You really should have a medium one before you use the big ones. I just forgot to cut the medium ones off.
How many leaves in on each stem are you
She-
putting on?
She uses 1 to 2 small and 2 to 3 large. I would use 1 small and then a medium. There aren't very many mediums, so, just 1 medium and then a large. And I can't tell actually, maybe they're not even medium. They may be all in size. What do you
Yeah,
guys-
she just has
I
small.
think there's
large.
2 rows of each size.
No, I don't think so. I think she's only talking about small and large, so you might want 1 or 2 small at the top and then go to large leaves. So
2
you
or
want
3.
anywhere from 3 to 5 leaves per stem. Total. So this one I did. Sometimes I turn my leaf over and I stick my tweezers on it just to bend that stem back a little because it helps to glue it on the stem if it's bent back a bit. Then I run it through the glue and stick it on the stem. And for some reason, my hands are shaking today. I may be getting terrible shaking disease, which happens to us old people.
Yeah, during the crowd.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm putting 5 on this stem with 1 small one at the top. I'll do more. So are you guys, is everybody trying this? Or-
Yep.
Yeah,
So it's not a lot, it's, oh wait, white. It's not a lot. That's five leaves on there. I'm gonna stick it in to dry. If you want to rearrange the leaves and point them a little differently, flatter or more up or whatever, do it after it dries. Don't, because you'll just get frustrated with them falling off while they're still wet.
so how many big ones did you do?
I did 4 big ones and 1 small one on that one. Now this one, I'll put 2 small ones at the top. And remember, your glue will dry clear, so it doesn't matter if it shows. And the other thing, if it doesn't dry clear for you, you can always take your markers or your paint and color your stem to cover it up. There are so many things we can do to fix our messes. As plants go, I'm putting these 2 small ones opposite each other near the top of the stem. See, now here's the thing. If you get glue on your tweezers, I use curved tweezers. You may prefer to use straight. Everybody has their own preferences on tweezers, I've discovered. But if your leaves are sticking to your tweezers, you can stick your tweezers into the foam and it kind of cleans them off. Either that or use an X-Acto knife to scrape the glue off, because otherwise it's still sticking to my tweezers. Why is it doing that? I can't get it to leave my tweezers. So I have one just a little lower than the other one. Let me wait. See, it's just maybe a 1/16 of an inch lower than the top one. Makes a nice looking top to your leaf. See, on a flowers, we'd put a flower on the top, but this is just a leaf plant. We're putting, our flowers are our houses and they're on separate stems all by themselves. Yeah, you could put some leaves under them if you wanted and if you have enough, but you don't have to. So I put 2 little leaves here and I'm putting a big one. And you don't want them all straight under each other because you don't want them just in a row. So you kind of rotate them around the stem, or you can put two kind of opposite and then 2 the alternate direction. I do both. This is a house plant. As I said, you can have your leaves any way you want them, because who's going to tell you it's botanically wrong? And we don't send the name police out to check on you.
So that 1/4 house, she just glued it on the front, huh?
That's what she did. Yeah.
I think that looks good. Do that.
Now, Marcia, with Marcia's technique, she had a bunch of houses in hers. She just had a lot more blooms than I do, because I didn't copy mine. And I might do that though with one of these.
Marcia, can you show us yours?
I will afterwards.
Okay, great.
She made them in all different colors. And you don't have to use red, blue, and yellow like in the picture. You can. Didn't you do some lavender ones? And you could do pinks. You could
I've
do.
got some blue, pink, kind of orange, whatever.
I've got these leaves fairly close together because this is going to be you're going to cut a lot of this stem off. You don't want the leaves all up and down your stem. Now, as I said, if you're having trouble getting these little stems onto the wire, what you can do, all right, so that one, I put 5 leaves on again. Excuse me.
What I'm gonna do is go get my reading glasses on and turn a light on.
So you have them very close together, don't you?
I have them very close together because I like it to look like a very full bushy plant. I don't want it to look like a leggy plant, but it depends what you like, you know, you can do it the other way. And it depends how tall you want your plant. I don't make mine terribly tall. And I do want it to fit in the game day display thing, because it's gonna go with my other 50th anniversary things that I've been doing. But that is 2 inches tall in those spaces, so you have quite a bit of room to,
What's in that blue thing on your paper? The
Crazy.
round blue thing?
that's my crazy glue, my Zap-A-Glat Gap. But as I said, if you color, I forgot momentarily that if you use inks instead of paint, don't use the crazy glue, because it splotches up your inks badly, and sometimes it shows really bad. And as I'm doing this, now that I punched my leaves out, I'm seeing there are some edges of some of my leaves that are still a little white. So at the end, I will look at my plant and I will take my green marker and just touch up those edges, you know, like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small, but on the edge
Geraniums have white in their leaves.
do. And these do look very
Right.
much.
Yeah, they
geranium.
do look like a geranium.
Yeah, they look like geranium leaves.
They are not completely geranium leaves as Susan makes them, because I have a geranium and I looked at it, but they're very similar. So if you like Jackie, is it Jackie Williams? Yeah. She took geranium leaves from Susan in 1/4 inch and made a tiny one of these. And then she just made some little houses. Well, you could just take these and Xerox them or copy them and make them tinier. And she had some little 1/4 scale, like glitter houses that she put in her plant to make it in a tiny 1/4 scale. It was really cute what she did. So we're making our leaves.
But you cupped a bunch of your leaves first, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't take long, you know, but I did. And I'll make this stem with, I'm just going to put 3 leaves on this stem. I don't know where I put my little plant. Oh, I may have it in, oh, I know where I put it.
How are you doing, Kathy?
Good. Doing good. How about you, Diane?
I got one done.
Okay. It's all right.
It
Further
takes-
than-
It's fiddly and it takes time. It's hard to get it in the right spot and have it stick. And then for some
Leave
reason,
it there and then it sags.
Yeah.
let it sag and let it dry, and then you'd be able to put a little more glue on it and poke it up or something. But yeah, the more I play with it while it's still wet, the more frustrated I get because the leaves fall off. And as I said, clean your tweezers off periodically because you get. Now, there was one leaf here. Oh, I was going to show you this leaf. My stem came off it. Oh, excuse me. No stem.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to put the glue in that little
Niche.
niche. Yeah, I was going to call it the crotch.
I think niche is a little better word for us.
But the niche is probably better. But to do that, I'll get a little tool to do that because I'm not real good at getting things where I want it all the time. If I stick it in, I'm going to get glue all over the leaf. But if you put the glue in that little niche, and this sometimes is easier to put on the stem than with the stem. Put on the long stem. See, because you can just put that little niche up to that and it will glue right on. And I kind of like that, actually. So much easier to do for me. So you might want to do that with all of yours if you find it easier.
I'm using a small crochet hook for my stylus because I couldn't find.
Couldn't find one. Well, I want you to know that recently I cleaned out my all my styluses. Now I threw some away because they were really worn, but I have this cup.
Oh my gosh.
How many style? Well, there's styluses and needle tools in here, but the ones with the needle with the blue on them are needle tools sticking up. But the rest of this is all styluses. And I have so many styluses I've collected over the years. And I also sometimes I teach little workshops and stuff. And so I usually have a stylus for everybody if I do a make and take workshop someplace. So this is a nice plant to learn some basic plant making techniques, you know, like
Yeah.
we did last year, because it's pretty easy. I'm actually going to cut out the stem on this, and you'll find if you put that glue on the center of that little niche, it sticks so much more firmly to your main stem.
Or what do you mean by niche?
The little
Right.
triangle between your leaf,
Where the
at the base of
stem
your
was.
leaf.
Of your leaf is a little,
Okay,
you know, indent where the stem is attached.
right, okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. And then it's, see, it fits. You can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see, but it just fits right on there and it just adheres nicely. Oh, nope. I'm doing it up in the air, so I don't have very good. Ah,
So you put 4 big ones and 2 little ones on each one.
no.
Mix them up.
I mixed them up. I made one with 1 little one and 4 big ones. No, 3, yeah, 4 big ones. I made one with 2 little ones and 3 big ones. I made one with 1 little one and 2 big ones. So I've made all
Look at
kinds.
her going, and we've only made one.
Okay, so you made them different.
I make them all different, yeah.
Shoot.
And you might want to keep a couple of leaves out to stick in here or there once you make your arrangement. I think that leaf went to the floor that just fell off of here. That's grating. All right, I'll do this one. I'm going to do one more leaf here. Then I'm going to go to the other thing. Oh, darn it. Another thing you can do is put your glue on the stem.
Yeah.
Put it on the stem and then stick your, if that might be easier. Some people that's easier. And then you can stick your leaf on there.
That sounds much easier.
Yeah.
It is for some people, you know, it's not the way I originally learned, but I've learned a lot of different tricks over the years. Blue. Then you have, I'm doing these things on purpose. I just want you to know, nobody thinks there's a perfect miniaturist. I turned over my glue and it got on my board here. And then I just laughed and spread my leaves went blowing all over. So anyway, all right. So I am going to set that aside for a minute. And I'm going to get my little houses. Punch them out of the board, of course. And if you need to sand the edges or anything where they were attached, mine aren't really attached. They came right out. So that was easy. I will put them on the wax paper, which I had here a minute ago and now I don't see.
Barb, just back to the leaves for a minute. How many stems do you think we should make?
I just made stems until I used all the leaves, almost all,
Okay,
kept a couple of leaves off.
okay.
Jackie, do you have your 1/4" one handy that you can show later?
Oh, I didn't know Jackie was here. I can't see who all's here.
I thought she wasn't here, but
She hasn't answered, so she may not be.
She's probably sleeping. Are you sleeping, Jackie?
She was here. I don't know if she still is or not. Because somebody leaves, so
Yeah.
it might have been her.
Well, all I see on my screen right now is my face in one corner.
No,
Yeah.
she's not here. She's
Yeah.
not here.
She's
I
left.
didn't, I hadn't heard her. I thought she would speak up when I was talking about her if she was here, but we'll have to ask her at one of the Zooms to show y'all what she did. Oh, this is not the best one. I better get a different white. Excuse me.
Somebody go check somebody's alarm on the cars. I don't think it's mine, but. This one for tomorrow. Until you get halfway there and then it stops.
There we go. Now I'm just gonna use some white paint and paint my houses here so they can, I should have probably done that first, but didn't. Oh, I can't decide what kind of brush to use. It's always a question, which brush? That one. I'll use that one.
so your leaves are all cupped upward, huh?
I cupped them all upwards, yes, but you don't have to. You can do whatever you want, but that is how hers are in the picture. I really should take these down, huh? Always have my double stick tape handy for these things because, come on. Don't want still for me. As I said, my first one, I spray painted the houses because I thought I'm not real good at painting. But I'm playing with it here and we'll see what I can do. So I've already filled up the windows with paint, so you don't want to do that when you do this. Don't use too much paint, right? But you do want your paint to get down in there. I'm gonna use a different brush. I don't know where my water
Use
is.
the tip of your sharp tweezers and poke a hole through the window again.
Right. There. When I move it, it doesn't show. Okay, there we go. My brush. Less is more when putting the paint on, I think, when you have these little tiny holes.
Yeah, we'll just do this.
And I just putting white on the outside so that I can have an extra coat over the laser burn part.
Okay.
If you just put a thin layer of white paint on, you can see the lines a lot better too, because it's not all the same color. Stay.
My leaves are falling down the stem.
Maybe you have too much glue. Why are they falling down the stem? You mean they're drooping?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine. You can fix that later. Just be sure it's well attached. If you get it well attached at the one end, then you can.
Are you just gluing the stem or did you cut the stems off?
Well, I did both. But you might want to cut the stems off and just glue the leaf right to the stem, the main stem, because it's much sturdier that way.
Yeah.
Or firm. I guess the word would be firm, much firmer that way. I put way too much white paint on that one. Okay. Just getting my paint into the holes. Okay. Oop. Gonna let that sit for a second. I'll be right back. I had to get some water. I didn't think about that. I've never had a craft room where I had running water available right in the room. All right, set
What,
that
you
aside.
mean your crafts haven't taken over your bathroom?
Yeah, I think the thing to do is just set up your workroom and your bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I painted one side of my windows. I'm gonna let them dry while I do some more stems here. How are we doing? How are you guys doing? Do questions?
Good.
Oh,
So this is the kind of quiet time that I'm thinking is sort of boring when you watch a video.
Fast forward.
Yeah, you could do that. Yes. Be sure though that you don't use, well, I think we have more than enough stems, but be sure you've got at least 4 for your houses.
I had longer ones that I kept for my houses.
Oh, mine are pretty much all the same.
Yeah, well, there are 5 of them, but I had longer ones that I kept.
Yeah. You're gonna be cutting them all off anyway, though. So you're not gonna keep them this long. The reason that most flower kits and flower classes have long stems is it's just much easier to work and hold onto a long stem than a little tiny short one. Because you can make flowers on little short stems, but not easy. You can hold it in your fingers.
Yeah, that would be hard if you had to.
Yeah, you know, you don't want little short.
If you had to balance it.
Are you using tacky glue or white glue, or what kind of
I'm
glue are you?
I'm using tacky,
I
which is, but any white glue is good. You can use tacky, you can, if I had it handy, I'd be using turbo tacky, but the glue I had handy right here was regular tacky. I like turbo tacky because I find that it dries faster, and for making flowers, you need that faster connection, you know.
No. What time is that? It's probably time for me to make them.
Oh my gosh, I just dropped another leaf on the floor.
What time is it?
I think the hard part is cutting that stem off. That's all. Hard to see it.
Well, if you choose to put it on that way, yeah, I don't know. I don't have problem. It will just pull out if you want it to. I mean, it's not very hard to, you know, sometimes just rolling it, it falls off. So
Sorry, honey, not too good, huh? You're free.
Yeah, it is. I'm just.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Have nothing.
and I'll put some here.
One, two, three, four, five, six. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. 6 on that one. Mhm.
So that one I put 2 on top, 3 on the bottom. Yep, that is 5. You could put as many leaves as you want on the stem. You don't have to limit it. If you want a stem with 7 leaves, you could do it, but it's going to end up being kind of tall. So Bev, I'm doing this. I'm taking my stylus, I'm holding on to the leaf, and then I just press my stylus into that niche and the stem comes right off.
Oh, okay.
That
Not
does.
I'm not cutting it off. It's just coming off with the stylus, pressing it into the foam. So you can do it that way. And it's much easier. Yeah, there you go. You could do that even when you're taking them off the main paper.
Yeah, if I'd have done it when I took them off, that would.
I know, I didn't think of it then. Forgot how easy it is to put it on. Well, thank you. It is a problem to open air. You might go look at your store and get little, children's little sample things. They're more like a little tiny air dry clay, not a huge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you don't need very much to fill your pot. I can't find it here. Because it is hard to keep it from drying out once it's open. Don't know who it is.
oops. Where did that leaf go? Right in my computer, probably.
I have some little packets of air dry clay that I got for the children's class. I think I got them at something like a dollar store. Maybe I got them online and they were really inexpensive. And it doesn't matter what color you use if you're going to paint over it with brown. So
Yeah,
I'm going to use this blue air dry clay for my pot here. And I put a little glue into the pot, even though it probably should stick, but it's a good idea to put glue in your pot. Oh, this is really sticky. This is really cheap air dry clay, I can tell. It's very sticky. Anyway, so I've got a ball of it here. Oh, it's too big. Like, you don't need very much.
Half a teaspoon is all.
So I just press it in and pull it off up. And then I'll, ew. Clean it off. You can even put the air dry clay in ahead and put it in a bunch of pots and let it dry, because you can always use a pin to stick in there and make a hole for your, that you can stick your stems in.
oh, yeah,
Because air dry clay is always got a little bit of give to it, you know?
Did you put glue in there before you put the air dry clay in?
No, I forgot to.
Oh, okay.
After I told you to do that, I forgot to. totally forgot. Yes.
Well, I didn't remember you telling me,